Today, in the media, there are reports about the government talking on the. It's been continuing, in fact, for the last few days about how in the ISRO Devas deal, we've had the scientific community standing up with a great sense of anxiety. All of us know that ISRO Devas deal was a commercial deal. There is not much that immediately worries us about any strategic relation or issues related to the national security. But if it was a commercial deal, nothing stops the government in revealing all the details based on which that agreement was signed. Just 4 ISRO officials could not have taken a deal which the CAG has highlighted that has resulted in an estimated amount of 2 lakh crore loss. An estimated 2 lakh crore loss. If an estimated 2 lakh crore loss based decision has been taken by the government, it certainly couldn't have been taken with just a few scientists, however senior they may be. And strangely, I'm not comparing at all, strangely, like in the 2G case, we hear people saying that the government has been fully and at every stage informed about it. In fact, Mr. Madhavan Nair had in his interview in the Hindu, and also many other papers have carried it, has said that the government was informed about it at every stage. Subsequently, last year when the whole issue came out to the public, we understand, and it was reported in the media, that the Prime Minister had appointed a high-level committee to go into the issue, to inquire into what really happened, because it was, after all, the Prime Minister's own department. It was under him. What has come out of that report? What has come out of that investigation through the high-level committee? Has the nation ever been told about it? We've not had answers coming from the government as to how nearly when the deal was going to be grounded and it was going to take off in sometime June, middle of last year, just a couple of months before it, because of media, because of political parties, this was exposed. Otherwise, this whole contract, based on a first-come, first-served basis, would have gone into a few people's hands. It, after all, relates to a very sensitive band of spectrum. And if this is, in fact, the kind of extent to which this has been bringing loss to the country, now the issue, therefore, is just not who is being named, what was the process of decision-making, what did that high-level committee find out, why is the PMO not giving us a complete picture? It is very strange that in spite of repeated asking of questions in the parliament, we find this government finding it comfortable to go for election rallies to talk about corruption, but does not answer questions in the parliament. There are repeated instances, and this is one of the serious instances of corruption, of decisions being taken with political and executive authorities sitting in it, but we do not get answers. We occasionally see a scapegoat, whether it is in the case of 2G, Mr. Raja going to the jail. If you look at it, in S-band, is it just Mr. Madhavan Nair, or is he not at all the person who is actually the decision maker? We have not had any answers coming from the Prime Minister's office. In 2G, you still have Mr. Chidambaram sitting in the cabinet without even wanting to answer questions, which could even, for that matter, prove him not involved in the matter. They are hiding away from answers. It's no good going to public rallies and posing that they're fighting against corruption when vital questions raised in the parliament or vital questions raised by political parties or the media are remaining unanswered. Whether it is ISRO Devas, which is 2 lakh crores based on CAG, whether it is 2G, where it is 1,76,000 crores, you still have Mr. Chidambaram not even answering questions. The PMO's been briefed. We've been told by Mr. Raja repeatedly before you went to the jail and even afterwards that at every stage briefing has happened. The PMO doesn't seem to answer. In the Commonwealth Games, 72,000 crores. The Prime Minister appoints the Shunglu Committee and it clearly indicts the Delhi government. You still have Mrs. Sheila Dikshit continuing. The Prime Minister's investigation has not led the country anywhere. Nobody is accounted for the loss to the country of 72,000 crores. I am purposely reminding all of us the trail of events, all high corruption, corruption in high places, where in spite of questions being asked in the parliament or by political parties, the pattern is we will show you scapegoats but we will not give you answers. We will definitely not answer in the parliament, but we will go around election campaigning saying we are here to fight against corruption. Where is the answer for 2 lakh crores? Where is the answer for 1,76,000? Where is the answer for 72,000 crores? And where is the answer again on the 10,000 crores in Goa illegal mining? Answers don't seem to come. Adarsh, who actually has been punished for it? Removing just the Chief Minister of a state? The point here is the Congress party's pretentious talk that it is fully fighting against corruption is remaining just a word of mouth when there are no people to question them. Go to a large political rally, speak about it and come because there is no one to ask you questions. The Prime Minister's office has got a lot of things to answer, especially on ISRO Devas. The Prime Minister's office has a lot of things to answer why Shunglu Committee has remained in paper and nothing else. The Prime Minister's office has to say, in spite of briefing him, why is Raja being questioned and why not Mr. Chidambaram? The Prime Minister's office is remaining silent. It is not revealing for the benefit of the nation the actual decision-making process which has resulted in huge loss all over 2010 and 2011. They are spending time in cover-ups. The vital question today is, in spite of all this, the UPA chairperson and the General Secretary of the Congress, who is very keen on taking this fight up front against corruption, are not answering questions. They are going around the country saying that they are in the fight against corruption. Please give us answers for all these. Answers are not coming in the parliament. No good going for election campaign and screaming, saying we are there for fighting for the people's rights. The leadership of the UPA, inclusive of its chairperson and general secretary, have a lot to answer before going on promising what they will do in different states. This is really being highlighted today only because we find Parliament doesn't get answers, opposition parties' demands don't get answers. The country wants the Congress party to say who is responsible behind these major decisions, each one of which is historical and never ever before this country has seen this kind of corruption. And therefore we demand the Prime Minister, particularly on ISRO Devas. We've seen how Prime Minister's office inquiries have resulted in nothing but paper-based reports. But in this, even the paper-based report is not even out. We don't even know what dominated this commercial deal, which resulted in 2 lakh crores of loss for the country. The scientific community is up against this decision. Typically, the Congress party, even in this matter, has only resorted in diluting and defaming institutions. This country's scientists have a massive contribution to make. If there was any political decision taken, and if the executive was also involved in it, all things should be revealed rather than giving the country just the scapegoats. The next issue is on the Armed Force Army Chief's age controversy. We've repeatedly said that due to lack of statesmanship like leadership in UPA, matters which have to be handled with great sensitivity are being in a very cavalier fashion being handled, as a result of which you have institutions suffering. The appointment of the CVC earlier, an institution which has to be kept with high degree of credibility, suffered in spite of the leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha protesting against the appointment of the then CVC chief. We saw the matter go to the court, just as here in this case the matter has gone to court, and the CVC appointed then had to leave with disgrace. In this matter too, I know the matter is sub judice. If only the UPA had handled it with great degree of sensitivity, a 4-star general didn't have to go and seek redressal from the court. And even as the matter is sub judice, we have reports in the paper today that the government has issued another letter asking for reconciliation of the age in all the records of the government. The matter is sub judice. All of us respect it. So should the government. At this time, issuing orders for reconciliation of age raises more questions than answers. We think the government should really look at institutions and strengthening them rather than diluting them. Thank you.